Okay, we will just wait a couple of minutes before starting, just to let partners joining the call.
I think that we're good to go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Welcome, everybody. I'm super excited to have you here. It's been a while since I haven't talked with you guys. With some of you, it's been more than a year, I think. With some of you, it has been more recent, and we'll definitely be happy to catch up. And for those that haven't met me before, well, I was in Pipedrive, and if I wasn't your channel sales manager back then, so my name is Christina, and I've been working with CloudTalk for a year now, or more than a year, as the partnerships director. So I'm leading this wonderful team of partnerships, and Marta is part of that team. Marta is also an ex-pipe driver, right, Marta?
Yes.
And so you know Marta from the last webinar. That was a great success, actually, and that's why we're all here today. So last time we were talking about integrations, and we invited Pipedrive to be our guest speaker there. And we had wonderful feedback on that webinar. So thank you very much for all your insights about that. And you showed some interest in getting a diver deep into our integration, how our products work together, how they integrate. So that's why we're here together, to show you a little bit more about CloudTalk, who we are, and then talk about the partner program as well. Marta, would you tell us a little bit more about what's on for today?
Yes. So I will ask you just to go to the next slide, please.
Absolutely.
So yes, this is the agenda for today. So there will be a CloudTalk presentation, a company presentation by Christina. I will take over just right after to give you some product highlights on some features that CloudTalk offers. And then there is a central part that I want to focus more on, which is the CloudTalk+Pipedrive integration. Then again, I will just also launch a poll. You will know more about that later on. And there will be the partner program presentation by Christina. So for those who are already partners, now there is actually a mix of partners and potential partners. So I know that for our actual partners, this might be probably like a repetition, something that you already know. But yeah, this will be also a presentation of our program for everybody who is joining us. And we will just leave 10-15 minutes for the Q&A. So you have just in the lower bar, you can see that you have the Q&A section. So just feel free to drop comments, questions throughout the session. We will make sure that we go through them at the very end. And this is it from my side. Christina, let you just kick the start.
Yes, guys, feel free also to just say hi in the Q&A section and tell us a little bit more about why you're here today, what you're interested in, and then we can include that. We can cover that at the end as well. So before we jump into this, again, why Marta is here with us today. Marta is taking care of the integration partners. Back in Pipedrive, she was working with sales, and she was also a sales engineer. And in CloudTalk, she's taking care of all the integrations that we have. So that's why she's taking care of this CloudTalk and Pipedrive presentation. And I'm here to represent the overall partner program and CloudTalk as a company. So who is CloudTalk? First things first, right? Why we're all here and what we actually do. Who are we? So as you can guess from the name, we are a cloud-based solution, and we're here to allow companies to have smarter calls. So we're a call solution. We are adapted especially well for call centers, but not only. We're actually a great fit for any companies that have larger sales teams with a lot of inbound, outbound support teams. again, that have a lot of outbound, inbound calls, and that already need some structure and help in calling to make things smoother. And well, you are Pipedrive partners mainly here, or all of your Pipedrive partners here, right? So you might also resell other solutions. The big topic, obviously, behind all of us SaaS vendors is to make the life of our customers easier and make them save time, save money. And so this is what we do. We save time while integrating our solution, our call or phone solution with other solutions like CRMs, ticketing systems, and so on, so that there is no time spent on like manually dialing, looking into who we have missed calls from, and so on. What makes us actually different is because there are other solutions like us on the market, as you obviously know. But what makes us different is that you can get pretty complex with the different scenarios of automations within CloudTalk that you can do. So we have a pretty powerful tool here, and we also are different in the way that we're built, the architecture that is behind, because we have a perfectly independent infrastructure with different telco providers all around the world. So unlike other solutions that you might know, we don't rely solely on solutions like Twilio, for example, but we have also our own operators within many countries. We actually provide different phone numbers that you can purchase from more than 160 countries all over the world, which gives you pretty many capabilities and possibilities, and why it's a good tool also to focus on as a partner. It's because it's a very simple tool on one hand, but on the other hand, you really need to make sure that you do the good setup. And because there are endless possibilities of what kind of numbers you can purchase, where you can call, from where, and so on, thanks to all the telco providers that we have. And once the setup is done correctly, then we can provide really uncomparable call quality, which is, again, one of the biggest points that we offer, and that make us outstanding out of the competition. How it all started, we started back in 2018 in Slovakia, which is our home country, where our two co-founders, Victor and Martin, provided a click-to-call solution to local companies, because there was nothing that would actually do that. So we started as a simple widget, and then we looked into what was needed on the local territory where there were no other providers like us. And so we really started our own story from the very beginning, based on not what exists elsewhere, but we took our own way. We went from what the needs are on the market, what customers actually want to do, and then well, Martin and Victor decided to take this further and offer all those complex features that we have today. So then we had a seed investment last year, Series A of 7 million, and we're ready for Series B right now. So this is what we're at. We have around 300 employees, and we are a remote ready solution. We are in many different locations, and most of us are working remotely as well. So we really know what we're talking about, because we know what it takes to work in different locations, and we need to have, obviously, good call quality all this time. Who are our customers? We can serve very different targets. We're pretty adaptive to all company sizes, but where we feel really the best is the mid-market. So we're talking about around 50 to 500 users or agents within a company. So this is where we really are the best fit. Again, we can cover really a large spectrum of different industries, of different company sizes, but over 1,000 agents, it becomes a bit complicated. And below, I would say maybe 10, 15, we might not be the best fit either, because we might offer too many features that customers might not really need, but we can answer to all of these requirements as well. Regarding industries, we're pretty generic: e-commerce, retail, IT, financial services, hospitality, travel, industry, healthcare, and so on. These are the biggest ones, but you name it, we can really adapt to anything that has the need of like heavy calling all day long, basically. We are located all over the world. We are pretty strong in Europe and North America, and we are detecting a lot of growth. We're a lot of demand coming from mainly Latin markets and the APAC market. So this is where we are at the moment. Now this is the mandatory slide about to brag about who we're working with. So these are our customers. As you can see, there are some big names in here as well, because again, we're pretty ready to serve the biggest, well, bigger customers as well. So this is a little intro into what we're doing. If you want to look into that, for some of you, it's no news because you already started working with us. But if you want to have a chat about how we adapt specifically to your business, then our channel sales managers are there for this, and to have this chat, have this discussion, and take this further with you. Also, if you already started our partner program, you will be able to learn more in your sales training. So all this information and more is included in there. Now, let's look into the product a little bit further. So our product is composed of different parts. The main one is obviously the phone solution itself, so the one that is linked to all those telco providers, and that allows us to have the top class call quality and to gain time with different smart dialers that we offer. Then the second part is our automation features, so all those that can help you build quite complex trees of different workflow automations that you can make. And then everything that is not included in the solutions that we created, we can integrate with third-party solutions, mainly with again CRMs, just like Pipedrive, and with ticketing systems like Zendesk, Soho, and so on, and more. We have currently more than 35 integrations all over. So, and we're obviously, if we count all the capabilities that can be done through Zapier, it's pretty endless. But Marta will tell you more about that. So Marta, can you take over and demo us the product?
Yes, sure. Thank you already for the introduction. So just before diving into the product, so I have just a few points. So it will not, of course, being a full demo, because we have basically more than 60 advanced calling features and the limited amount of time to show that. And I also want to focus on the integration with Pipedrive, which is the main reasons why we are all here. So product-wise, there are already some points that Christina mentioned that I think it's really important to stress in here. So we already mentioned that we offer more than 160 number, and that we are actually globally distributed in terms of servers. So really, I want to stress that what we were focusing on product-wise while we're really thinking of the product and developing the product is the call quality. So this globally server distributed strategy allows us really to give you a good quality almost everywhere in the world. So this is something that is really important to stress. And one other thing is that in some countries we are registered as actual official carriers, so which makes us even more influent in the control of the call quality. So I already mentioned like 60 plus advanced features. So yes, let's just take a look. I will just share my screen with you. Christina, just can you confirm that you can see everything okay?
Yes, I can.
Like you in the Q&A, like if there is any problem, also technical problem during the session, just feel free to write a message in there, and we can see what we can do about it. So normally when I present CloudTalk, I like to think of it as in a story form. So you have always like the settings, the characters, and some actions going on. I would start with the settings, so where actually the story takes place. So you have already you have the browser app, which is what you are seeing right now. So once you log in into your dashboard, this is what you see, like a general dashboard with some statistics and the recent call history. But it's not the only option that you have to access, because, for instance, if you are working a lot on the mobile, we have also a mobile app that you can check, is available for both iOS and Android. And we also recently released a new version in terms of design. So I really invite you to check it out and let us know. Feedback is always more than welcome. And so I mentioned this browser and mobile, but it's not the only part. We also have the dialer. So this is I would say the part that your agents will use the most, because they can have their CRM behind it. They can just dial from here. And we have, sorry, we'll just move the Zoom part. We also have a click to call, a Chrome extension. So these are all the different places where actually our product takes shape, and where you can actually move from one to another.
Marta, just sorry to interrupt. I'm afraid that we cannot see the dialer and in the plugin, because it's not the same window.
Okay, let me just reshare my whole screen then. And now you should be able to see it. Perfect. Right? Yes, perfect. So just to say, like I was showing, the browser app. So this is the dialer that I was referring to, and the extension is just here. So these are the as I said, the settings where you can find where you can work with CloudTalk. And now I would just like to talk about the characters. So normally you're seeing here already you have agents, you have contacts, internal contacts. What are these tabs? Who are these people? So the agents are, of course, the agents that form your account. So you have in here you have the list of all the agents that are in my account at the moment, and you can see in here there is a role. So like in every story, there are different roles that you can see and change from here. So we have 4 roles at the moment. We have the administrator, as you can see, who is the one who can make everything inside CloudTalk. So make the calls, have access to all the data. And then we have an analyst. You can see we also write it in brackets to make it clear, like the analysts cannot make the call, but they have access, as their name probably suggests, to everything that is related to statistics. And they can listen to the calls, they can download the calls, they can see and export the statistics. We have the supervisor, which is a mix of an administrator and an analyst, and so they can make calls, unlike the analysts, but they can also access the predictive dialer, for instance, and other features that we offer. And the agent is the most common role that can make the phone calls, see the contact history, see the details of his own contacts, of his own phone calls, and have some reports on his own activity. So these are the main agents that you can see. And then we have the contacts. So what I really like about the contact page is the contact history. So now I will just look for myself here. And for instance, there is like this contact. If I just go in here, you see I have the possibility to see already all the activities I have been doing with this contact. So it just allows me to have an idea of how the contact has been going. And I have in here more information. And of course, I have here, for instance, the icon of the integration where this contact can be found. So in this case, it's Pipedrive. If I click in here, I'm just redirected to the contact page inside Pipedrive. So you can see it already. And if you have this contact available in multiple integrations, meaning, for instance, you're using Pipedrive for sales, but for support, you're using Zendesk, there will be also another icon here for Zendesk, and you can just click and easily reach out reach the page of the contact in the different integrations that you have available. So this is already, I would say, quite of a feature that it's very interesting to know exactly the history with this contact. When I mentioned already, like a few times when like talking about the analysts, talking about the homepage, the dashboard. So we have some, we have actually a few advanced statistics that you can see in here. So already, as I mentioned, this is really the first page that you see once you log in. So you can see some statistics for a selected period of time. You can always change the period of time in here. So here are the last 3 months, but I can put it back to today or last month. So in here you can see I have some already some stats that are available and all the calls that I made. In here you can always as well play the recording. If there were some notes added to the call, you can just click in here. In here you can see the call ID, which is very important when, for instance, if you have a problem with a call, you contact support, the call ID is there and support can actually check what has been going on with this call. You can download or delete the recording. So here's already you have quite a general overview, but there is also a statistics page. So where you can really go in detail and you can see the stats for instance, more inbound or outbound calls, or for the tags or the real-time dashboard. So if I'm just showing you here, it may look like the initial dashboard that we have in here, but actually there are quite some important differences in terms of filters, for instance. Before we could only in the dashboard filter by call tag or by time, while in here I can basically filter by group of agents as well, or by one specific agent. So if I want to see all my calls, this is in the last 3 months. I have in here only the stats for this agent. We've always all the calls, so you can basically have more filtering options in here. And the same kind of dashboard is actually available for inbound calls, for outbound. So you actually can segment even more the statistics, and you can have as well the tags in these statistics. So you can always customize your tags, which are very useful because when you make calls, you want to add some tags and you can find them in the settings. And you can have statistics to see how many sales calls your team has handled, or support calls, etc. And you have the percentages as well. Also, in here you have some wallboards. So in here is a LCD screens that show you some information that you can as well customize in here. For instance, if you want to see if the metric is really the abandoned time, or like the threshold value or the title, etc. So this is something that you can always customize, and it shows basically what's happening in your CloudTalk account at that moment. While the real-time dashboard is for real-time tracking. So at the moment there are no live calls on this account, but when there are, I can actually see who is calling who. I can see if the agent needs help. I can see the average waiting time, the abandonment time, etc. So all these stats, and the server is also refreshed every minute. So you can also filter by group. And this is really, it's mainly for admin and supervisor to take a look at what's happening at the moment in the account. If you're going more to the agent side, like something that really helps productivity is the dialer. So
Mark, let me just complete here. What I really like about the feature that you just showed is also that not only you can see what's happening, but the managers can also intervene. If you can see that your agent has a struggle during a call, you can actually jump in and you can advise the agent what they should say and so on. So they can be invited to the call, or they can just give you the answer without the customer hearing the manager.
Yes,
as well. So exactly. There are some smaller features like that, but that are pretty interesting from the sales perspective, which is the one that you're the most interested in as sales consultants mainly as well.
Yes, exactly. Like, and as you can see in the real-time dashboards, there is also the call monitor part, which is something that we will be seeing later on, where everything that Christina was mentioning is actually happening. So in here, like admin and supervisors can really have and hold on the situation of the agent and just intervene. So this is also the part where everything is possible. So you can see both in the real-time dashboards, but also in here, it's more about intervening actually in the call. And if you go back to the agent's perspective, so just one feature that we see that it's really important, especially for salespeople, is the dialer. So we have actually different types of dialers in here. So you can see there is power and predictive dialer. And what are they? So if I have to describe the power dialer, it means that basically you call, you have a campaign that you can set in here, and you call one customer after the other automatically. So once the call is over, the next call will start. The predictive dialer is kind of the same thing. It's a way of automatically dialing in numbers. But the main difference between power and predictive dialer is that while the power dialer waits for one call to be over to start the other, the predictive dialer just starts dialing the next contact before the actual call is over. Why? Because if you have, for instance, low data quality, and normally the engagement, the response rate is quite low, you might want to skip and augment your productivity. We actually have data that show that 80%, there is an increase of 80% of productivity by using the predictive dialer if you have, as I mentioned, low data quality. While with the power dialer, it's more useful if you have actually a data quality rate that is more than 50%. How to set up these dialers? So the first thing that you need to do is set up a campaign. So you see in here, you have already a sales campaigns, Pipedrive contacts. So if I'm just going here to see, you can basically see that I need to give a name to the campaign. So in this way, I just gave it the Pipedrive contacts. Why? Because I can also choose the contact list. So once you set up the campaign, in here, you can choose if it's a power or predictive dialer already, the name of the campaign itself. You can make it active, and you have to select the contacts by tag. So if you want to run a campaign which is only for your Pipedrive contacts, you can by editing in here. You can decide how many attempts you want to run per contact. So you might try 3, but of course not one after the other. You can set up some hours in between the attempts. You can set up the answer wait time. Here you activate the feature of dialing next the contact after the call ends. And you can also add, this is something that I recommend, like some time, before one call and the other. So to give the agent, for instance, the time to take notes. And very important in here, you need to assign groups of agents, because imagine if it's a campaign for only specific contacts, you can have different labels, and you can decide that actually only few agents go to this, actually run this campaign. So this is very important to know. And when you create campaigns, you can also write some scripts, for instance, for your the SDRs. So like a sales pitch, you can just write in here. You see all the speech that you want your SDR to use when dialing the campaign. And you can also have a survey. So this is not a survey that you send to the customer, but it's something that the sales rep can actually fill in. And I think it's very important that you set like a waiting time, as I mentioned before, between one call and the other, so that also the sales rep can finish completing the survey. And once you're in, you can just start, you just click in here to start dialing in order to start calling all the customers that are in that specific campaign. So this is something that is very useful for sales rep, because it just deletes, let's say, just eliminates that manual entering the numbers. You can just start dialing from here. And okay, here I just have also some fake contacts, so it will not exactly show, but you can just start and it will just start calling all the customers. Something else that I find particularly interesting, if we talk always about having, like, let's say, save time when when you're working, when you're doing like some sales campaigns, is the workflow automations. So Christina mentioned that workflows automations can be very complex, and I don't want to stress you out or to show you something extremely complex, also because most of the times it's just very simple manual tests that need to be automated. And I want to show you one typical case that we see a lot here in CloudTalk. So when the call ends, normally our customers want to send an SMS to the customer. So in here, the automation works like, every automation, there is a trigger and an action. And you can also set some conditions in order to limit this automation. So if I'm going here, I just want to show you the elements that we have available. You can see we have different objects that can be used as a trigger for the automation. So we have the call, SMS, contact, agent, recording, and transcription. In this case, we want to make sure that every time a call ends, and here you see I can just select ended. I want to set then a condition, because probably it's not for every call that ends that I want to send an SMS. So I just say every time the call is only outgoing, so it will not work with the inbound. And the talking time is less than 5 seconds, which basically is no reply. I will just then here send an SMS. And you see, you can take basically the data from here in order to build your workflow. So here you have the recipient and sender name, and you have the text that you can customize as well. So this will happen every time a call ends, that is an outgoing call, and outgoing call with basically no talking time. This SMS will be sent. So it's also a useful way to just follow up with the customer. So these are only like very few features, and it's a very short let's say overview that I gave, because I really want now to focus on the integration, which is really the main part of the webinar. I will also just launch a poll for you. So you can actually decide, like before the Q&A session, I can just quickly go through one of the features that are reported in the poll, and you can just vote for which one you want to see, and I will just go through that, as I mentioned before, in the Q&A, before the Q&A section, as a kickstart of the conversation. And I will now go more talking into details on the integration itself. So as you can see, all the integrations are in this account part in integrations. So we have actually at the moment we have 34 direct integrations, and we have others that are available via tools like Zapier or Make, if you're familiar with them. And adding the integration is quite an easy process, and especially with Pipedrive. So just to show you, you can see here I have already an active integration. But just to show you here, if I go in here, I can actually choose, like now I added the demo one, but here I have the visibility of all the accounts that I have available, and I can choose which one I actually need to connect with CloudTalk. So here you are basically authorizing and install the integration. It's like a very simple process. And once you are you finish that part, so you allow and install, you are basically redirected to this page. So this page is the main, let's say, control section that you have over how the integration will look like. So you can see in here the integration is active. You have some general settings, and then the workflow settings, which are will be really showing how the calls will appear in your Pipedrive account. So if you want to start with the general settings here, you always give a name to the integration. Why? Because, for instance, if you have multiple Pipedrive accounts that you want to connect, you want to make sure that you actually differentiate if it's, I don't know, for instance, the Pipedrive sales account or a Pipedrive support account, whatever. It can be really different cases. And in here, you can also synchronize the Pipedrive activities into CloudTalk. Contacts tag is very important because it allows you to actually define the contacts that come from Pipedrive and differentiate them from the ones that come, for instance, from another integration. If you're using also HubSpot or Zendesk or any other integration, you can actually see who are those customers coming from Pipedrive. Here you see the synchronization was completed. Normally, when you add the integration before, you are asked if you want to map the contacts in CloudTalk into Pipedrive as people or organizations, and then you can see there is an orange bar saying synchronization is running. Once like it can take a few minutes before you actually see the synchronization of the contacts. This is for the API calls. It's something that we cannot really change, but it really doesn't take much time. It's just a matter of few minutes, and you can find all the contacts then in here. Once you connect, you can see that the contacts just appear in this in the contact section with the tag Pipedrive. Now, if you're going back to our integration, we can actually start seeing how this how to set up, how to enable the integration. So you have the different types of calls that are outbound, answered or unanswered, inbound, the same, answered or unanswered, missed calls, voicemails, and then you have the SMS part. So if you start with the calls, in here we have actually the possibility to choose how they will appear in Pipedrive. So for instance, I always suggest to mark the answer calls as completed activity or done activities if we talk the Pipedrive in Pipedrive terms. And then you can decide if it's a call or any other activity. So of course, when we talk about the calls, it's quite straightforward. In here, unanswered, probably if it's a call that is unanswered, you want to mark it as in progress call activity. It would be like a to-do activity in Pipedrive. So you can, and also you can change, or you can decide of not logging the calls at all. So this is also a choice. This is really your space where you can decide what you actually want to see. So in here, you have already some options, and something that is very interesting is that you can also use the custom activities that you add. So I'm sure you're familiar that in Pipedrive, you have the possibility for the personal preferences, company settings, activities. You have a set of given activities, but you have also the possibility to add your own activity type. For instance, here I add SMS. And if I'm going, like, let's say I want to save here the SMS part as SMS, I can just select that custom activity that I created that was not existing first in Pipedrive. So just to go back to the setup. So in here, once you set everything up, you can also like decide to import the contact owner in Pipedrive as a preferred agent inside CloudTalk. You can create, if a contact that you don't have in CloudTalk or in Pipedrive just calls you, it will create automatically a profile, and the profile will have this format, as you can see, like number at CloudTalk. So you always know like those unassociated contacts, so they are not getting lost. They are just being created as contacts with this format. This is something very, very important, and that we see most mistakes come from. You need to add all the numbers that you want to integrate with Pipedrive, meaning here I have my French number for the calls. So all the calls that I make with my French number will be logged into Pipedrive. I can add in here all the numbers that I have available in CloudTalk. And basically for the SMS, as I said, we have the same workflow settings. So always turn on the integration. This is also like one of the common mistakes that we see. And then you can customize what you will be seeing in Pipedrive. And also in here, it might look like repetitive. It's a process that has to be done. So connecting the numbers for the SMS. Here I have my Polish and French number. If I don't add, for instance, the UK number, but then I send an SMS and just say, oh, I can't see I cannot see the SMS from the UK number. It is because it's not in here. So make sure that you have all the numbers saved in this part. And then you just click save, and all your settings are saved in here. But now, how does it look inside Pipedrive? So I will just take a deal with a functioning number. So already in here, you have quite an overview on how it looks like. So I'm in a deals page, and I can see there are already some activities in here that have also a note with quite some information. So this is something that I'm already seeing. There's SMS, there is calls. So the idea is that all the calls that you decided to log after the setup that we saw in CloudTalk and also the SMS, of course, are logged in here as activities with notes. And then you can also filter in here to see all those activities in here. For Pipedrive, we don't have the CTI, so the let's say an integrated interface, but we have the click to call feature, which works with the dialer that we have seen before. So here we have our dialer. So if I'm just clicking here, you see that the number actually appears automatically in the dialer, and I can just start the call. So here always I have the the page in CloudTalk for the contact that I can click and I'm redirected to that. If I'm calling from another part, I can always go back and be redirected to the Pipedrive page as well. Now just, I will just reply. So here after I can actually add some notes, some rates. So for instance, I can say, oh, the customer was a very good mood. I can say it was a sales call, they're interested, and they can add a note, send offer zap. And then I'm done. So it can take like sometime, normally it's a few seconds or a minute to just see the call. In here you see it already at 5:39. So this is me. And I can see in here the note that I added. I can see the tags, or there we go. I can see the number that I used to call and the number of the person that I called, and the agent, duration, call date. And here is very important, like you can listen to the recording in here. So just being redirected to the CloudTalk interface and just playing it out. And you have always the details. So the idea is really to have a correspondence of information between the two platforms. And you can also view the customer in CloudTalk. So you can as well open the page and just see the information as we saw before. So you're just redirected. The idea is really to have seamless automation between the two, integration between the two platforms. So I showed you how it works when you have an outbound call. Now, just a minute, I will just call myself back in here so that you see as well how it looks like in incoming call. So you see in here, always you can be redirected to the Pipedrive contact page, meaning that if you are anywhere inside Pipedrive and you're not actually on the customer, you can always click on that icon and you will be redirected in here. And how does it work for the SMS? For the SMS is actually from this part. So I can just go in here. This is like in the web app dialer. Okay, let me just find myself in here. I will just send myself a message. So let me just see if everything, okay, here we go. So you have already the SMS that has been sent. You have the information on the date and time, direction, agent, both numbers, recipient and sender, and the text. And for the inbound, it works actually in the same way. So you can see it's actually the changes SMS sent or SMS received. And then you have all the details inside the note. So this is basically how the main working of the integration. There is also one other thing that I always say to customers, and that I was also using myself until recent times. Sometimes, for instance, if your sales reps don't want to go to use the campaign inside the CloudTalk, they don't need to do a mass calling. They just want to call like some customers with one specific label, that they can use the Smart Dialer app in here, and they can just see, for instance, let's here, like basically the Smart Dialer is the extension. Every time I move from one page to the other, so before I was moving to like from CloudTalk to here, basically what it does is detecting the number, and you can add them to the queue in here in the CloudTalk phone. So this is also like a solution. Once you are in here, you can just refresh read the page. So you can see in here it detects for numbers. I can say add to Smart Dialer, and I will have them normally in my queue, that I can find in the dialer. So one other thing that is quite important. So I showed you the basics of the integration, but the integration sometimes doesn't cover all the use cases. So we know that there might be endless use cases. And we mentioned, like for those who were present in the previous webinar on how to integrate tools, that we are actually available both in Make, formerly Integromat, and Zapier. And I just wanted to show you an example of a use case that we didn't cover with the original integration, but it's actually available here. So like we had a case of a customer asking, every time, actually I have an automation, I just recreated automation from customer. Every time a deal is updated and is changed to 1, I updated the customer, the label of the contact as customer. So what he wanted is that every time there is a customer, like a contact marked as customer, he wants to send an SMS. So I created like a ZAP, since it was a case that we didn't cover originally in our integration, that every time there is a person matching a filter. And here you see I selected, like in the filter that I wanted, the customer list, which is in here, very simple. Person label is customer, so it's very basic filter inside Pipedrive. I want to, okay, this step also can be avoided. Is find contact in CloudTalk is always to be sure that you find that the contact is already saved in CloudTalk and that you retrieve all the information. And then you can send an SMS. So to those specific, to that specific customer, you can choose from number to which number, which is the number of the customer, with a message. So first thing, what I would say, just to conclude, I just very briefly and also like in a very fast way showed you the integration. And really the first thing to do, like when testing, if you have like any specific use case that we don't cover or anything that might be interesting as well, the first thing is to contact your channel sales manager or like your support, depending on the tier, and just to pass on the information and the feedback, because we build our integration based on feedback as well. So just let us know if there is anything that we can help cover. And now I just pass the word to Christina.
Thank you very much, Marta. So that was very insightful. Thank you for that. So let me take back this presentation. Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay. So let me share my slides again. So let's talk very quickly about our partner program for those that are potentially interested in becoming our partners. So what is different maybe from many other partner programs is, well, you can see that we have Marta here, and Marta is representing the ecosystem. So she works with integration partners. So we have decided to put the channel partners and the integration partners under one roof, because we believe that it really makes sense to cooperate and to synchronize our actions together. So we have this tech partnership tier, and then we have 3 channel sales tiers. If you're a Pipedrive partner, well, it's a very similar structure. The affiliate tier is pretty straightforward. So we would gain a commission just for recommending CloudTalk to your customers, but without taking care of then the conversion and demoing to the customer and so on. So it's really very easy. Anybody can join if you just have an audience that might be potentially interested in learning more about what CloudTalk has to offer. Then we have a solution providers tier, and the solution providers tier has 2 different levels. So we have silver and gold level, depending on what is exactly your level of engagement with us and how many opportunities to sell CloudTalk you have. So we have this silver tier that is for rather occasional collaboration, which means that you don't have any kind of sales target, you don't have any specific obligations in terms of how many customers you would provide CloudTalk to. If just you happen to have a customer that has the needs that we cover, you would take care of that customer. Given that you are somebody that really wants to take care of this customer from end to end, which means that you have a high touch contact that you don't want to lose with this customer, and you want to not only talk about CloudTalk, but you want to close the deal, you want to get a lifetime commission for that, and then you want to potentially provide upsell, make the customer happy, and so on, just like you're used to. So this is possible without any kind of specific commitment. If you just have one occasion to sell CloudTalk, that's perfectly fine. If you want to, then if you have customers, a customer base that really is the core of our customer profiles, like I described at the very beginning, then maybe the higher tiers would be a better fit for you. So the gold solution provider tier is basically the same. You also have a lifetime commission, but you already have a sales target, and this commission is obviously reflected with the work that you're going to do. So it will be higher than in case of the silver tier. In both cases, silver and gold solution provider tier, the customer would pay to CloudTalk, and then you would get your commission. And then we have the reseller tier, which is the more complex, and that takes care not only of the marketing and sales part and customer success part, but also of support. So you would do first level of support, and you would be also the one to bill your end customer directly. So you would handle the billing on your side, and then we would bill you with a reseller discount. Regarding this, so we actually talk about targets and commissions only on the software, the price for software. So we would not give you any commission, but would not take commission either on the telco services that we would provide. This is the basics of the reseller tier. Then this slide is basically a screenshot from what we have on our landing page on CloudTalk. So if you want to have a look into the details of what are exactly all the benefits and what are exactly all the conditions, then feel free to have a look at that. Or even better, you can just give us a call, and we can talk about that, or write us an email, and we can go through that together and see which tier potentially would be the best fit for you and how all this works. So what I would like to just highlight here is that we have kind of an important culture within CloudTalk, which is really strongly people-based. So whether we're talking about customers or we're talking about our integration partners, or about our channel partners, or about our employees, we really care about the people and the way that we collaborate. So we really try to adapt to each business and hear you out and be there also to support you. So we have right now in the channel team 2 channel sales managers, Joanna, who is from Portugal and speaks Portuguese, Spanish, and French, and English, obviously. And then we have Hani that covers the English-speaking countries and Arabic-speaking countries as well. So if you're interested, if you're not yet in contact with either Joanna or Hani, and you're potentially interested in the partnership, you can reach out to them directly. So how the division of the market works, all North America is in hands of Hani, plus all the Eastern countries and APAC as well. Why? Because Hani is based in Croatia, so he is based in Eastern Europe. What I call exactly Eastern Europe, that would be starting from, well, being Czech, what we call Central Europe. So from Czech Republic to the east, basically all that part would be in Henny's hands. And then Joanna would take care of Latin America, Mexico, and all the Western Europe. So it is basically language divided as well. So anyway, if you just reach out to us, we will be happy to answer any questions that you might have, either about the solution, about our partner program, or about your specific market, and if that might be a potential good fit for you. So that will be it from my end. Marta, let's have a look at the results of our poll.
Yes, so I will just share the results. So the winner is the code flow designer. So this is the next feature. So I'm just seeing that there are like 3 questions that are on the waiting. So probably we should go first through the questions, just to make sure that we reply to the audience. And in case if there is not not enough time, what I will do as well is recording like an actual demo of the integration and share with you some material. So the idea is really for you, like after this webinar, to have all the information. So already all the features that I shown, all the integration material, everything will be shared with you in a follow-up email, and also the recording, of course, of the session, so that you have the access to it. And now we'll just jump to the questions, as I see that we have some in there. So let me just see. So I will go quickly through them. So there is a question from Martin. If we can synchronize the tags of the contacts in Pipedrive with the tags in CloudTalk. So the first one, the answer is unfortunately not yet. So it's a feedback that we have had in the very recently, and it's something that we have started considering, but we are waiting on more feedback on that, and also to actually explore the possibilities. So at the moment, probably the main suggestion would be to have kind of a syncing between for instance, the tags that you have in CloudTalk and the ones that you have in Pipedrive. So you can basically recreate in CloudTalk what you have in Pipedrive, or the other way around, in order to have them reflecting somehow in both platforms. So I know it's like a workaround. At the moment, this is it's a very good feedback. It's something that we are not offering at the moment. I can see in here also that you wrote dialer is an app for both Mac and Windows computers. I'm not sure if it's a question or an affirmation, but in case if you were affirming that, I can confirm as well that it's available for both Windows and Mac. And we work mainly as preferred browser is always Chrome. So Google Chrome is our best browser in terms of also call quality. And how can I schedule a call for a specific day for a contact? So for this specific case, the main answer that I would have is to actually scheduling it in Pipedrive itself, and then use either the click to call, or for instance, you can just use the smart dialer as I showed. So just have a filter to see the activities, the calls that you have to do for the day, and then you can add those specific numbers to the smart dialer and just to the queue of the smart dialer and just start dialing from there. So this is also an option, but I can also look into that more specifically in order to give you also a few other alternatives. This is really the first one that comes to my mind as both CloudTalk and Pipedrive user. And the last part, activity call today in Pipedrive, how can I get them into CloudTalk? So Martin, I would like just probably here, if you can explain me better, because how I understand this question is that you just want to have the activity type, the activity that normally you schedule in Pipedrive in CloudTalk. Is that correct, or I didn't understand? If you can probably just pop in just a clarification, that would help me a lot. I will just go also to the next question that was by Raj. So, hi, do you have an Indian calling number? So this is actually something that we updated recently. So up until now, we didn't have Indian numbers. It's about a month that we have an Indian number, different from the toll-free numbers that we were already providing. So we are actually referring to to users with this number as beta users, because India has quite some limitations in terms of calling SMS. It's a very specific situation. So we are at the moment we are offering these toll-free numbers were always available. We are offering now these Indian national numbers, but still for to be aware of the limitations or the possibilities with this number, I would suggest contacting, for instance, support to have more information on, for instance, which countries you receive call from, or which countries we are calling to, because this is actually also what makes the big difference in here.
Just to complete Marta's answer, when she's talking about limitations, these are actually legal restrictions regarding the VoIP altogether. So it's not just it's not a CloudTalk limitation. It is really a legal restriction of the country of India. So that's just to specify.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, absolutely. So it's not a matter of competition who offers what. Is really countries have specific restrictions. So India is one of that. And this country with more more restrictions, unfortunately, but it's something that, of course, like if you just reach out to us, we can give you more information as well. Like if you're a partner to your channel sales manager, and you can just go through the details with them. Then I have another question from Martin. How can I send a follow-up email after a call if I give it a tag? And so for this one, like I know that we have some automations in Pipedrive, but unfortunately we have tested already, like the conditions of the nodes of the activity nodes cannot be used in the actual workflow automation. What I would suggest is to try Zapier, for instance, because they can actually have more conditions. So you could actually complete the integration with the Zapier passage. So adding as a condition activity nodes contains, for instance, sales. So you can, with Zapier, we have more possibility rather than only with within Pipedrive automations and CloudTalk automations themselves. Also, actually, like I was thinking as well, I can take a look at workflow automations, because I mentioned our internal workflows, and I mentioned before that can be very complicated, and I'm not sure if we can also trigger the sending of an email with another platform with an API call. I'm not sure of that. I can just double check for you as well. And so there is the second part of the question: need to set up a campaign in Pipedrive, tag the contacts, and put them in a campaign. How do I do that? So here you have a couple of options, actually. So either you use like the option inside CloudTalk. So when you do the sync of the contacts, you just tag the contacts as Pipedrive and you just run the campaign. So there is this option choosing between Power or Predictive Dialer, or as I mentioned before, with the Smart Dialer from within Pipedrive. So let's say that you want to tag specific contacts, like, I don't know, you tag them as hot leads, warm leads. You can then use the filtering inside Pipedrive to just have that specific list of contacts, and then you use the Smart Dialer to have them in your queue. So this is also one of the options. And I will also anyway, also like with this information, I see that there are no more questions. I will just follow up as well with this information, so that you have as well the answer of your questions in the follow-up email as well.
Martin, have we answered then your question that was part of the first one when you were talking about the activity call? If you need any further specifying of this, feel free to write to us. We will go over that right before the end. Now, Marta, let's take a couple minutes to go through the workflow automation then. That was the winner in the poll.
Yes, sure. Just let me take back my screen here. So,
if there are more questions in the meantime, we're slightly over time, feel free to write them and then we can still answer by email. So we can just join all our answers in written version as well.
Okay, here we are. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you actually choose like a feature that I personally love because it's very complex. I really like this type of feature, and I will just show you like very briefly the concept. And then as like we had also had a full webinar on this, so you can imagine 1 hour webinar only on one feature, and that was made by our Martina Redayova, who is a technical consultant lead. And I will also share this with you, but just to explain you what we mean with call flow designer. So once you are like, let's take here in the numbers tab, I will just take this number and just change. Let's say that you have incoming calls for these specific numbers, but it's like a service number, you know, like the ones when you call and then you have to choose between different services. You can actually build it from inside CloudTalk. So basically you can guide the customer calling through the different options by building a call flow. So in here, for instance, this is the number. So I just start in here. I can say, for instance, I want to start with a playback. Normally it can be either a waiting music or a message say, oh, thank you for calling us. So all these sounds, by the way, can be added from here, from the account and sounds option. And like, let's see if I have something in here. Okay, I will just add this one just for the sake of it. Just let me confirm in here. So let's say the customer calls, there is first this voice. What can I do then is like adding an IVR already. I can decide how much time the customer will stay in this stage. Nothing happens, and I can add some greetings. For instance, if you want to contact, if you're calling us for an order, press 1. Let's say something like that. I will just select in here another sound and we'll add it to here. So once you have this step, what you can do is actually adding more and more steps. So it can be, for instance, let's say they want to call for, it can be, well, instead of doing a multi-level, like let's say that they are calling for like a specific order. I just don't want to complicate it too much, since then you will have also the recording. I can say, for instance, that I want to call to a specific group of people. Always in here, I can define how much time I want the customer to be in there, the message. Let's see if there is, oh no, this is the group of agents, sorry, like it's the test group of agent. I can say, okay, here you need to click the number 1. So this is really the passage where you say, okay, if you want the information on your order, click 1, and you just add it in here. And you can see already that in here, if you have the options unanswered or answered. So if the call is, for instance, unanswered, you have the option to actually get a voicemail. So you set in here the name, the test group of agents. So like all the agents of this group will be notified that there is a voicemail. You can also send them an email just to remind them. And if it's answered, for instance, you can automatically mark the call as resolved, for instance. So you see, and here, like this is just number 1. Then you can add the option, the same option if you have, for instance, dial number 2 for, I don't know, here is for my probably tracking an order, and number 2 is to do a new order. So etc., etc. You see that actually it becomes a real flow, a real diagram through which, and it can also get way more complex than what I'm showing to you, because you can add more and more options. You have always possibility to record the calls, for instance, or to call directly to an agent or to the favorite agent that is assigned to that specific phone number. You can have also external API calls, and it can get like quite complex depending on your necessities. But as you can see, you have all the options in here that can be added. And as I mentioned, you can always customize as well the sounds that you want to add in this part. So this is just a very quick overview on one of the, personally, I consider it one of the most interesting and like complex and functional features that we have. And I will share as well the webinar that Martina made, because it was very, very insightful. And there were also like actual use cases that we're doing. And I think it could be very beneficial for everyone, like partners and potential partners, to see these features more in detail.
Thank you very much, Marta. So as you can see, Marta is not only the integration partnerships manager, but she's also the product expert, and she's very close to the product team. She has a very close view to the roadmap as well, and she can jump on a call with the channel sales managers if you're working on a complex sale, if you have a specific use case, including the Pipedrive integration or Zapier integration or whatever, and it becomes a little bit too technical, then Marta can actually do the sales engineering help in here. So I can see that we don't have any more questions. If you have more questions in the future, just feel free to write to us. We will be happy to answer. And if you are already partners, then you have the contact of your channel sales managers as well that will be happy to assist with whatever you need. So thank you very much for being here with us. Super happy to have seen your names at least listed here, and I will be very happy to catch up at any point.
Yeah, absolutely, Sing. Thank you very much, and let us know if we can help replying to more of your questions.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye bye.